With less than a month to go till new Doctor Who, there's still time to read old Doctor Who. Go to Mark Who 42 Books at Amazon. It's at amazon.com/shops/Mark Who 42. That's amazon.com/shops/Mark Who 42 and get all your Doctor Who reading material at an affordable price. Plus, if you act now, you can go to audibletrial.com/Mark Who 42 and get a free audiobook and month-long free trial of audible.com. That's audibletrial.com/Mark Who 42 and get a free audiobook download. It's great to be a Whovian. Mark Who 42 Books and audible.com are proud sponsors of the Mark Who 42's Whoniverse.
This is Christian with Mark Who 42, and I am at Hurricane Coup. Eat it, Ed!
This is Paul McGann, the 8th Doctor, and you're listening to Mark Who 42 Universe.
Mark Who 42 Universe.
Welcome to Mark Who 42's Whoniverse, Doctor Who Universe, that is. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten, and with me, as always, are...
Patricia-Helm.
And Eduardo-m-Freyre. And no, you can't see me in the Season 8 long-form trailer.
Oh, that's too bad.
You're not an Easter egg.
No, you're not an Easter egg. It's
nope,
sad.
Not an Easter egg.
Oh, and by the way, Ed, that's Hurricane Who people you just listened to. That's Hurricane Who people.
Oh, yeah, Day with the Doctor.
Screaming and shouting right there. They represent Whovians.
Who are you, by the way?
I'm Christian-basel.
Hi, Christian.
And I want to welcome to the 100th day before Halloween.
Wow, 100 days before Halloween.
By the time that this is recorded.
Okay,
but...
and
which means it's closer to Christmas, which means have you started shopping yet? Why haven't you started shopping yet?
Attention, Walmart
Start
shoppers.
shopping!
This is a very special episode. The Hurricane Who, in respect, A Day with the Doctor, had Paul McGann and Gareth-David-Lloyd attending this convention, and Christian has a very special convention report after the break later on, and an interview, a one-on-one with Paul, and another one with Gareth. That's cool, Christian. Way to go. You score points right there.
So does that make it, instead of just A Day with the Doctor, it's A Day with the Doctor and Ianto?
A Day with the Doctor and the T-Boy. But you know what? That's semantics, and we can talk about semantics all day long.
Oh, that's what the fangirls say.
Yeah, yes, they do. So why don't we go to...
Why don't we go to Doctor Who News with our Doctor Who correspondent, Patricia-Helm. Patricia, I hear that we have lots and lots of news to cover today. So why don't we just get to it? And ignore these two silly people here.
You mean three?
Yeah, ignore these two, Ed. Ignore Ed, because that wasn't Ed. That was the guy in the box.
Yes,
Trish, what's going on in the news?
Man who sits in the box until you need me to announce the news.
Trish,
I'm going to go back in the box now.
Yes, thank you.
But I'm going to borrow this magazine. I'm going to borrow this magazine.
Trish, the news.
Okay.
Trish, interrupt.
Sorry. I was raised better than that. That's why I don't interrupt. Anyway.
Cool.
So, right after we stopped recording our last show, that was when the BBC decided to release the full-length trailer for Series 8.
Yeah, they released it right after we were done recording. It's like they didn't want us to talk about it.
Not fair.
No, it's not.
Not fair. Not fair. I feel like
2
we're
weeks late.
2 weeks late. Yeah. Exactly. Did everybody watch it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
Hey,
we did.
Dread.
And what were your thoughts on it?
I liked it. I liked it. I cannot wait. And I'm glad to find out. Well, I'm not glad. At the end of Time of the Doctor, I did like the fact that Peter-Capaldi was using his complete accent talking. But watching the trailer and hearing him speak in the trailer, the Scottish voice that he used was his regeneration crisis.
Huh.
I mean, because he doesn't have that, he's
Better watch
talking
that
about
again.
kidneys. He's talking about his kidneys in a thick Scottish accent, and then in the trailer, he's got a subdued Scottish accent like David Tennant.
Huh.
Yeah.
I did not notice. I'll have to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah, definitely go back and rewatch it.
I didn't notice that either. But of course, remember in the trailer, the times he speaks, they're pretty somber times. I think he'll probably, who knows? I mean, the accent could be something that is, the thickness of it could depend on the situation.
I think it was him having his anxiety over his regeneration that was causing.
Okay, but think about it. But again, think about it. Would you want the thick accent that he used in his regeneration crisis at the end of Time of the Doctor? Would you want that as he's telling Clara
I would have liked it in a way, but to be honest, the American audience may not have and other countries may not have been able to understand everything he was saying had they kept the thick accent. So it's a good idea to change.
I think Trekkies are just happy because their sequel movie got a plug all of a sudden. And I saw all those memes running out into darkness, and all the memes going flying out of there. And
it didn't even take long. I think by the end of the day, I already saw one. I saw one meme go up. Like it didn't take long at all.
I noticed that the interior of the TARDIS had like a warmer glow to it, and the Doctor had put bookshelves up.
Yeah,
there are bookshelves up all the way around.
I like bookshelves. It reminds me of reading the books in the Wilderness Years and the TARDIS library, and then of course we got to see the library again with Clara in Journey into the Center of the TARDIS.
Now, when the Doctor says, "I've made many mistakes, it's about time I did something about that," I saw some speculation on the internet. People are trying to figure out what did he mean by that. And some people think, oh, this means that he's going to maybe revisit certain events from his past and try to correct them in some way.
Well, but what does he have to correct?
I don't know. Well, he says that he's made many mistakes.
Letting the Daleks live.
According to
the
him.
Daleks. He could have averted the Time War by finishing it off in one stroke. Of course, then that would have messed up the eminence in the Big Finish audios. So.
I'm just wondering because when I was seeing that, I almost thought of Time Lord Victorious, where he looked like he was taking charge and like, I'm going to correct things now. I've been around for 1,000 years. I screwed up a few things now to fix them. I'm like, oh. We're back to Time Lord Victorious again. That's all I could think of. Maybe that opinion's wrong, but yeah, I think maybe he is revisiting old stomping grounds, going like, I was here, or I was there.
And maybe that's how they go back to Pompeii, maybe?
Yeah.
Because I swear there's this part where Clara, in the trailer, she's looking at someone, and someone kind of pops up at the bottom of the screen, but just the back of them, and it's like a figure with, it looks like a red hood, almost like a soothsayer.
Ooh, maybe Karen Gillan comes back as the soothsayer.
That would be funny, wouldn't it?
It would be great.
Yeah.
It would be great.
Well, we do know that there is an episode that is supposed to be him revisiting an old adventure. So
right.
I don't know. Could be Fires of Pompeii. Could be something else. I mean, could be something we've never seen before, and could be something that has been in the books. Could be something we've never seen before, but it's an adventure that he went on that we weren't there for.
Right. Big Finish audios are now canon, according to None of the Doctor, so it could be something from the audios.
Well, at least the Big Finish stuff that got, at least the companions that got name dropped by 8.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he's just visiting the old rock quarries from Tom Baker's episodes and going back over there. He picks up a rock, puts it back, and goes, "There, I'm done."
There you go. That would be good.
All fixed now.
But I'm just wondering, because the start of the trailer, the Dalek says something like, what, life prevails? And the thing we get before that, I mean, we get a close-up shot of Clara, her eyes closed, and then she opens them, like, really quickly, like she's waking up from a dream.
Right.
And then it goes to the Dalek. And I'm kind of wondering, is that positioning on purpose? Like, is that just random, or is there something more to it? Because, I don't know, I've always felt like, okay, do we know if Clara remembers the lives of her splintered selves?
Well, that's a good question, because she splintered off, and we don't know if she splintered back. If she splintered off, then every life that she splintered off in, when they died, it would have died with her.
Right.
So I don't think they've actually explained that.
Yeah, the thing I've always wondered about, I mean, what would happen if we had Clara and the Daleks running into each other again? Like, would Clara remember that life?
Well, Clara will be running into the Daleks again.
Right, but I'm saying, what would happen? Like, does Clara remember Oswin Oswald from Asylum of the Daleks? Does she have those memories? And also, if the Daleks run into Clara, is something in them is an alarm gonna go off, and they're gonna be like, well, wait a minute, isn't she supposed to be one of us? Why isn't she?
No, I don't think she remembers, because remember in Nightmare in Silver, she was seeing all those past photo histories, and one of them was Victorian, Clara, and she didn't recognize that at all. And she goes,
But that
"I
was
didn't go back
before
there."
she splintered. Well, that was before she splintered. The splintering, she would have been
That's a good
picked
point.
up inside the Doctor's time stream at the end of Name of the Doctor. Does that companion, Clara, that he picked up at the end of Name of the Doctor in the time stream, did she get all the memories of everything she's done, or is she just another splinter?
Again, that's the thing. If she remembers, I mean, what would happen
if she remembers
confronts
all the stuff? She's probably the most omniscient character in the Whoniverse, and I don't think they would have done that. So I don't think she remembers.
Think about it this way: in terms of story, if she remembers her other, her other lives,
right?
What would happen? I mean, the fact, her getting assimilated by the Daleks, the events of Asylum of the Daleks. I mean, what would happen if she ran into the Daleks again? What would her state be? I mean,
we'll find out.
We'll find out. Episode 2, Into the Dalek.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Into the Dalek, episode 2.
I'm hoping one of the things they fix with Capaldi, if Moffat writes an episode where he explains why there's no ducks in the duck pond, all will be forgiven.
Yeah, as long, maybe we should write a letter to him and tell him, hey, the Mark
including the
rings.
Didn't somebody at SuperCon say that was kind of sort of solved?
It wasn't solved.
I think somebody said that. Yeah, I think
that guy was wrong.
That guy was wrong.
It was not solved. We don't know why there were no ducks.
Well, if they're listening, Mark says that you're wrong. It wasn't solved.
Contact me at mark@markwho42.net and to prove to me that you're right, because I think you're wrong.
Wow.
Wow. That's blunt.
Blunt. Challenge accepted. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Wow. Okay, Trish, what else we got?
Well, on the BBC's Facebook page, they uploaded 5 screenshots of the enemies of the, aliens seen in the trailer.
Right.
All with the caption, "You're a wanted man, Doctor."
He is wanted by all the fans.
So, yeah, but I mean, are they saying that there's going to be a whole bunch of aliens out to get the Doctor this season?
Ooh.
And is it because he's the only man in existence who can bring the Time Lords back, and so they all want him dead? So is he basically being bounty hunted?
Yeah, there is a new motivation for villains now. The whole bringing Gallifrey back thing.
Not just villains, because remember the Time Lords towards the end of it. Towards the end of the Time War, the idea of the Time Lords were considered as bad as the Daleks. So it's not just villains.
Yeah.
It's other races and other people who saw the violence of the Time War and were like,
well, see, and I was
not getting back to this.
I started reading Tales of Trent from Trenzalore. Have any of you read those?
Yeah, I did.
I saw it at Barnes & Noble. Haven't pulled the trigger yet and got it.
I read it. I loved it.
I only read the first story, the one with the Ice Warriors. And even then, they set up this whole plan to kill the Doctor because they don't want the Time War to start again. But they're going to end up having to kill the whole town of Christmas. And they actually feel sorry for the people they're going to kill. But
the Ice Warriors aren't really monsters. The Ice Warriors are a noble race from Mars.
But they know that, killing these people are going to save billions.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the Time War to start again.
Yeah.
So it's like, are there going to be a whole bunch of races still out to get the Doctor?
Pandorica,
Yeah, exactly.
Could have been trying then. Time money out of order.
I wondered what happened to that thing and how that thing got started and created and why it was created. That was kind of one of the big plot holes that was left over there. Okay,
Pandorica was created because Trenzalore fell, I don't know.
They found it in a Cracker Jack box. Industrial side.
IKEA.
Costco.
IKEA. Go to IKEA. Build your own Pandorica. Trap what you think is the most dangerous thing in the universe. Easy to assemble.
Oh yeah, get that Allen wrench and put it together.
Get the Allen wrench. You have like a bunch of Centaurans.
I finish and I have all these spare parts and I have no idea where they go.
But that's okay because it works without them.
It's all built up, but they're trying to build it, and there's the Centauran. You have given me the Dalek instructions. I need the instructions in Centauran. No, these are the Cybermen instructions. Where are the Centauran instructions? Where's the box? Where's the box?
Trish, what else about the trailer? Tell us more about the trailer.
Well, did you notice the cyborg Jack the Ripper?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And all the different aliens. It was pretty interesting. I know we're now down to under a month to go, and
oh yeah,
I'm just like, hurry up already. I'm sure everybody is too.
Yeah,
And
somebody on We Heart Heart was like, it's still too long. And I'm like, well, do you want it to be December 2013 again? It's like,
well,
no,
heck,
you got a point. But still.
Yeah. Thank God it's not like Sherlock, you know?
So yeah, wait on that one.
Exactly.
But I really don't have anything else to say about the trailer.
All right.
Does anybody else?
Needs to be longer.
Needs to be,
Needs to be longer.
More stuff revealed.
No, that would be spoilers, sweetie.
Sweetie.
Call me sweetie.
Sweetie.
Oh.
Did something happen with you guys?
All right.
No. I was just running a booth. That was it.
You were running a booth?
Whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
I was helping you run a booth.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh.
That's it.
Oh.
Hands in our pockets.
Is that what the young folk are calling it
That's
nowadays?
what the young folk are not calling it. So stop right there. Trish, more news, please.
Okay, well, speaking of the premiere of the new series, it just was announced today that they're going to be showing the episode in cinemas all over the world, just like they did with the 50th.
Oh, wow. But you can come to our viewing party. If you're in South Florida, come to our viewing party at Ye Old Falcon Pub, Saturday the 23rd of August of 2014. We begin seating at 7, so you have a good seat for the 8 o'clock showtime. Watch Deep Breath if you're in South Florida with us. And then if you want to see it on the big screen on the following Monday, hey, that's up to you. Just drink. All right.
Yep. And they also...
Want to put a little more plug in
Didn't
that?
even wait.
Yeah.
Just
No.
jump in. You just dove in there.
Now also, Amazon has already listed a Blu-ray DVD release for Deep Breath. They're going to release just that episode since it's a feature-length episode, and that's going to be released on September 9th. So we already have dates for that.
For our birthday.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
saying. Just saying. Coincidence is what the coincidence. It's just wow. The timing's great. Yeah. Yep. Our birthday. Trish and I. Our birthday's on the 10th.
Well, remember, I took a moratorium on birthdays last episode, so I'm not going to be wishing you a happy birthday. I'm sorry. It was my birthday last week, folks. Hi. All right.
Yeah, and I posted. So I posted a big happy.
I know
birthday.
you did.
Shared
That
it
was
all
very
over.
nice of you. I appreciate that.
Didn't have to do that.
Yes, you did, because I'm showrunner. You totally had to do it. It's part of your job. Okay. What else we got? So Trish, you were telling us about the Blu-ray.
Yes. It'll be out September 9th, so you can already pre-order it at Amazon.
Cool. Have people reviewed it yet?
Yeah.
I didn't look. But I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. The new issue of SFX magazine came out, and there was an interview with Stephen Moffat, and he actually previewed all 12 of the episodes for Series 8.
Oh, wow.
He's got a little synopsis for each one. Do you guys want to go through them?
Yeah. Let me hit the spoiler alert, please.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Ow.
Oh, right.
It's
hurts.
loud. It is loud.
Ow.
All right. so
Seriously.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
so
should
here's-
turn it down
It's
next
music to my
time.
ears.
I should
It's
turn
music
it down.
to my ears. I should make that. It's music to my ears. I should make that my ringtone.
Yeah, you should.
So these are all quotes from Stephen Moffat. This is what he says about each episode. So episode 1, Deep Breath. Clara trying to cope with her best friend being someone else, a terrifying monster.
Boy, that's descriptive. Okay.
Episode 2. Episode 2, gritty Dalek episode that goes into the last place in the universe the Doctor should be. Episode 3, very funny Robin Hood story all about being a hero and whether the Doctor is a good man.
Well, if his name was Charlie Brown, we could sing a song to him.
Maybe that's where that scene in the trailer comes from. Tell me, Clara, am I a good man?
Episode 4, the story of a date and the Doctor having what appears to be a mild nervous breakdown. Tiny guest cast, a bit of
Colin
coupling,
Baker.
quite scary. No CGI. Yeah.
No CGI.
Wasn't in
So-
the budget.
No, they needed a bottle show. This is like Star Trek Next Generation. They needed a bottle show.
Episode 5, a Doctor Who heist movie with a cracking monster, one of Neil Gordon's best.
Okay.
Episode 6, what effect would slipping away with the Doctor have on your life? A hoot with some serious bits. Bit like The Lodger.
It's a bit like The Lodger? Cool.
Yeah, I like that episode. It's a good episode.
Maybe James Corden's coming back that we don't know about.
Yes, that would be nice. Episode 7, proper drama with monsters and all the Doctor Who stuff that you could want. Also features a callback to a past episode. Sort of.
Okay, so this may be where they go back to a previous location. Okay.
Well, what do they mean, sort of?
Sort of. We'll have to find out.
Don't know. Episode 8, Moffat playing the long game with a callback to something from Matt's first series. A brilliant idea of a monster.
Maybe this is the ducks in the duck pond.
It says foxes singing.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
What does the fox say?
What does the fox say?
No, remember remember this is Fox's the British singer-songwriter.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Right.
It's not that there's going to be a singing fox. It's
I
the singer.
I think Ylvis would make good guests. I think we could have him coming from Norway and doing the show. That'd be cool, and they could sing "What Does a Fox Say?" That would be great.
As long as it's not Sigurd Ross doing Reigns of Castamere.
Oh, next.
All right,
Rings of
next.
Rings of Akatan too.
Yeah.
Episode 9, a horror story that starts off with a very cute idea and becomes really quite frightening by the end. One of the best ever sight gags in it.
Story of Michael Gray being hired at the BBC.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 10, boldly beautiful, lyrical, and poetic. A fairy tale, but not Moffat fairy tale. Quite different with a clever main visual idea. And episodes 11 and 12, two-parter. High-octane action with Cybermen and some proper unit stuff. Strong emotional story about Clara and the Doctor and the fact that the way they interact might not be healthy for everyone around them.
That sounds like a good ending to the season. And then, of course, there'll be a month-long gap and then hopefully a Christmas episode. But we don't know about that yet.
I don't know. Just that last sentence. I don't know. I don't know about the sound of that. That's kind of sending the warning bell off in my head.
I think that's the after effect of the spoiler alert ringing in your ears.
Speaking of the Cybermen, did you guys see the pictures of the Cybermen in London?
Oh,
when they were filming it?
Yeah.
And they're saying that it was just like the scene from 1968 from the
invasion. Yeah.
So
The invasion
we've
all over
had
again.
Okay. With an adventure in space and time, we had a recreation of the Daleks. Going past the bridge. With this episode coming up, we have the Cybermen recreating the invasion. Are we now going to have like a spat of recreating famous moments from Doctor Who?
Well, we're having a recreation from Terror of the Zygon of the Saurus, and we've got a dinosaur coming down the Thames, according to the trailer.
But I mean, I'm kind of wondering, are we going to have? The next thing, are we going to have from? Maybe from like the Sea Devils? Are we going to have a recreation of the Sea Devil coming out of the water?
Oh, you just want to see those nice thin bodies with the knit shirts on, right?
That came out. That came out. I'm sorry, man. That didn't work.
Okay. We'll take that.
Still staying in.
Staying in. I don't know. I'll figure it out later.
That said though, if maybe Clara wants to recreate Ursula Andress coming out of the water from Doctor No, I wouldn't mind.
I got scared you were telling her to wear the fishnet shirt. I was gonna say
That's not that kind of show.
Dr. Blue. It's perfect.
Not that kind of show.
He likes green. It would be really cool if there was an episode that was kind of like, and this is one of the things I was thinking when they were talking about him going back and fixing things, like an episode, kind of like Back to the Future. Remember when Marty McFly would think the second one would be the best one to interpret this, where the Doctor comes in and helps himself but doesn't interfere with what's going on? Like it would be an episode of, I don't know, somebody come up, The Face of Evil.
Uh-huh.
And in the background is Capaldi with Clara, but they can't interfere with what's going on.
Well,
with the
they kind of did that with the Name of the Doctor, with Clara appearing everywhere.
An actual episode where the Doctor's helping himself, but he can't interfere. He can't acknowledge he's there, but he's trying to make things in the background happen so that everything in what's supposed to happen in that episode is supposed to happen and nothing interferes. I just thought that was a cute idea. If that was something like, I'm going to go back and fix something.
Why can't the 23rd be here already? Let's just get this going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're recording this on July 25th, so it's a month ago.
Almost here. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Almost there.
No, that one description said something about the fairy tale episode about it not being a Moffat fairy tale. Well, Moffat has actually said that the fairy tale era of the Doctor is over. And he promises that the Series 8 stories will have bigger consequences.
Bigger consequences?
Yeah, he says he wants to make it feel that these adventures can hurt.
Oh my God!
That's exactly a quote. He says, we want to make it feel that these adventures can hurt. And I'm like, oh, nice.
They already did.
Yeah.
Feels. How many times can you kill off a companion that can't be killed off anymore?
Well, you don't have to kill the companion. And remember, we do have that spoiler regarding the Cybermen and Danny Pink, so...
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that Stephen Moffat is going off about is that he doesn't want people calling Peter Capaldi the 12th Doctor. He wants to throw out all the numbering.
He's the Doctor.
He's just the Doctor.
He's the Doctor.
He said when he was writing the 50th script, he didn't like it that he had to write the 10th Doctor or the 11th Doctor. Mm-hmm. And he said he'd rather go back to what they did in the 5 Doctors when the script was written for that. They called it the Hartnell Doctor or the Pertwee Doctor.
Yeah.
That he'd rather it be like that because he said they're all the same person.
They are.
He doesn't number himself.
No, he doesn't. But it makes it hard at conventions, at costume contests, if you don't put the number there.
Well, no. I said this. I had said this before when we were talking about how to deal with the War Doctor being inserted.
Right.
You know, if you're worried about, do I need to change the numbering or not? What you do is you simply just go with the name. Like instead of calling it the First Doctor, you call it the Hartnell Doctor. This is the Colin Baker Doctor.
Well, that's what
exactly.
Stephen Moffat said that they should do.
Exactly. So I mean, you then don't have to worry about numbering. Just say, and if you have somebody at the convention and they're dressed like the 8th Doctor, you don't have to call them the 8th Doctor.
McGann Doctor.
It's the McGann Doctor. Exactly. There you go.
But you would have to say the Colin Baker or the Tom Baker.
Yeah, you can say the Baker.
You can say the Baker Doctor.
The Baker Boys, the fabulous Baker Boys.
That's fine. Just like you called it the Davidson Doctor, the Capaldi Doctor. It's fine. I mean, that's.
Okay.
Now, something else that Moffat has said that's actually this is cool. I like this. Is that he says that Peter Jackson directing an episode will probably happen.
Yeah.
At some point. He says that he's really busy working on The Hobbit, but he's spoken to him. And he still wants to do it, and he understands that there's no money with this, and there's no time, and it'll be just when he's available, and so he just doesn't know when it's going to happen.
Picks. I want to see a pic of a director's chair with the name Jackson on the back of it.
Yeah, when you have that happen, then you could post it on our site. How about that?
Right. It's like, okay, fine, we know it's coming, but come on, give us something else there. Show us Pete Jackson with his, gold Dalek?
Maybe we could have the Doctor meets the Feebles. That would be... that's for Dr. Blue. That's for Dr. Blue. That wouldn't happen.
All of a sudden, the cast and crew of Doctor Who are whisked away to New Zealand.
Yeah, see, that would probably make it happen faster, but could you imagine having to ship the whole show to New Zealand just to do one episode?
I mean, they did
I don't think
that.
it's in the BBC's budget.
No, I guess
not that far.
You could. Hey,
Going
they could
to
use.
Spain is one thing.
Hey, they could reuse the. They could reuse some of the Lord of the Rings sets.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, imagine seeing Peter Capaldi in front of the door to Bag End.
Yeah, the Doctor goes to Middle Earth and he teams up with Gandalf, and we'll finally have Ian McKellen proper, not just as a voice, but have him in it. That would be great.
Are you saying that voice acting is not as cool as?
No.
Is that what you're
right?
Are you trashing voice actors now?
No, I'm not.
Hey, you're trying to start something, Ed. Stop it.
Yeah, Ed, this is
No, I'm just asking for clarification here.
There's no Clara or clarification.
I'm just asking for some clarification because he's the one saying we need a proper appearance by Ian McKellen.
See, because I said the word appearance when you appear, and he did not appear. His voice was heard, but he did not appear in the show.
Does the 5-ish Doctors count?
Okay, you're right. Well, no, actually it does. It's not canon. It's not canon, but
not
okay.
Canon.
Not canon.
And on this very special episode of Doctor Who, the Doctor faces off with Benedict Cumberbatch's voice.
Yep.
That's all it is. It's a voice in the middle of the air of nowhere.
It's me.
I will take you down.
It's Benedict Cumberbatch's voice, so
Now, speaking of the 5-ish Doctors, Colin Baker has talked about, has given an update on the proposed sequel to it. And he and Peter Davison are talking, and they decided they don't want to do one that would be a pale imitation of the first one.
Right.
So they need to come up with something really good first before they do it. And they have a couple of ideas floating around, but nothing is set yet. And he's like, we won't be doing one for the 51st anniversary because that's not interesting.
But the 10th anniversary of the new series.
That was the other thing I was going to bring up. It's like, but the 10th anniversary is coming up next year.
Yeah.
So there's that. Now,
so they could be jealous going, we celebrated the 50th, and now they're going and they're doing the 10th without us because it's the new series or we're the old series, and that's not right. And we should be in it because we're cemented to it, and it's and they could do the whole show over again.
Let me get your guys' opinion. Do you guys think there should be a 10th anniversary special?
Only if Eccleston does it.
And I'm always up for any extra Doctor Who,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, give us some more. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it would only go off without a hitch if Eccleston does it.
Okay, there should be something to acknowledge that there's been 10 years of New Who. Now, in a perfect world, Eccleston would be a part of it. But if for some reason they still can't get him, do something. Do something to acknowledge 10 years of New Who. It doesn't have to be exactly like the 50th. I think as we get closer to the anniversary next year, I do have some ideas on what I would do. If it was up to me to do a 10th anniversary. But yeah, it would be, in a perfect world, we would get Eccleston back. But I do think they should do something to at least acknowledge that the new Who has been on for 10 years. Even if you can't get Eccleston back, you can't just let it go without any sort of acknowledgement.
I kind of think it. I don't know. It's just weird. I appreciate it. I mean, any celebration is nice, but all I could think about when we were talking about this is Disney World. They have like the 25th anniversary of the Kingdom, and then the 10th anniversary of Epcot. It's almost like they, that. Could the anniversary thing run its muck? And also, if they get the 10th anniversary of the new series, what will be that? The 53rd anniversary of the actual series?
52nd.
52nd. So, I don't know. I kind of think that would be nice to have something 10th anniversary-ish. It's nice, but I don't think it should be as big as like the 50th or the 75th actual anniversary of the show. Maybe a nice little homage for the 10-year run and something to pay homage to Eccleston, Smith, Tennant, and Capaldi. I just don't know what it would be.
Right.
But I don't want it to be something that is continuous, like, oh, it's the 15th year of the new series, it's the 55th year of the actual series, it's the 57th,
there could be too many anniversaries.
Will it lose its novelty after a while? But yeah, I would like something. I don't see why that would hurt.
And I actually, again, like I said, as we get closer to something, I do have an idea on what I would do for like a 10th anniversary. But I'm going to save that.
Thank you for saving it.
I think it'd be something as simple as a confidential that ran the 4 doctors. How's that?
Maybe.
Or the 2-ish doctors. There you go.
Speaking of anniversaries, they have released more details on the Doctor Who 50th Anniversary Collection DVD or Blu-ray that's going to be coming out September 9th.
In England. It's coming out in England. Is
it only in England? Because, I looked on Amazon UK and regular Amazon and the BBC website, and I can't find it listed anywhere.
I think I saw it on BBC Shops. I think
that's
I did
where
see
I
it
went,
on there.
And I didn't see it there.
Oh. I think I did see it.
Because I thought it would be weird that there wouldn't be a pre-order by now.
Right.
And Doctor Who TV didn't have a link, did it?
No. And I'm hoping that it's going to be available in the U.S. because this is a really cool collection.
Yeah.
It's going to have the name of the Doctor, the night of the Doctor, the day of the Doctor, the time of the Doctor, an adventure in space and time, and the Five-ish Doctors reboot.
Woohoo!
Plus, it's also with the extras. They're going to have the Day of the Doctor read-through, deleted scenes, trailers, and the cinema introductions for the Day of the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Behind-the-scenes features on the name, day, time of the Doctor, and an adventure in space and time. It has the Doctor Who: The Ultimate Guide, the Last Day mini episode, Tales from the TARDIS, a farewell to Matt Smith, the Science of Doctor Who, and the 2013 Doctor Who Prom.
Oh God! Do I even want to know how much this would cost in the U.S.?
It costs a lot.
Just wait until it hits Costco.
Exactly.
But it's a limited edition.
Yeah, it says there's only going to be 6,000 units on Blu-ray and 4,000 on DVD.
Yeah, so you gotta go quick.
I gotta admit, I would love to see the Day of the Doctor read-through, just to see,
yeah.
like, for example, are they gonna like, in the read-through, did Tom Baker show up, like, at the read-through and surprise everybody, or did they have somebody else reading for the curator? I'd be curious to see, did they blow that surprise early, or did they wait until they shot the scene?
Anyway, I want to buy it. I hope we can find it, because I really want it.
Send at least 5 of those to my Costco right here in Orlando, Florida. I'll buy one right off the shelf, I promise.
Hey, and just anybody listening, remember, Trish and I, our birthdays are on the 10th of September.
All right.
Listening. Just
Trish,
FYI.
Trish, cut them off again.
Yes, let's go through a couple more stories here. These actually kind of get away from the 8th series and the anniversary. So there was a news article about John Barrowman. He was talking about the future of Captain Jack, and he says that he hasn't been asked to do anything for it, and he's not sure if he'll ever be back. He's not sure if Torchwood will be back or anything, that it's the BBC's decision, it's not his, that he would love to do it, but he might never do it again because no one said anything to him.
We'll just have to love him as the evil Malcolm Merlyn on Arrow. We'll just have to get used to that. He's back for season 3. He's going to be a big part.
I got to admit, when I read that, I was bummed out. Because it's been a while since we've had Captain Jack interact with the Doctor. We didn't have him at all interact with Matt Smith. But when you think about it, well, first of all, that sequence at the end of Time was kind of closing the door on the closing the door on the RTD cast. He visited Sarah Jane one more time. He, saved Mickey and Martha. He, showed up, he appeared before Jack. So, and I don't know, I was looking back at the history of Doctor Who. This is not unprecedented.
Right.
UNIT was a huge part of the Third Doctor's era. But Terror of the Zygons, that was the last big UNIT story. It did show up in Android Invasion, but for example, the Brigadier was not a part of it. He was, I think that was another time he was in Geneva. UNIT was a huge part of Doctor Who, and then it disappeared. The Brigadier himself, last time he showed up was Terror of the Zygons, and then he didn't come back until the 80s, and he was nowhere to be seen during the Sixth Doctor's era. Right. So it's not unheard of that when you have a different creative team come in, they have their own toys to play with. Moffat has his own toys. We have
Of course,
Craig.
Moffat was the co-creator of Captain Jack.
Yeah, but like for example, Moffat wrote the two-parter in the library with River. So River's kind of his little toy to play with.
But he wrote the two-parter that introduced Captain Jack, The Doctor Dances the Empty Child.
Okay, but I'm guessing that
So
Jack,
they are his to play with.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that, since RTD is the one who does Torchwood, right?
Right.
So I'm guessing Captain Jack has become more of an RTD toy to play with. And Moffat would rather focus on River, on the Paternoster gang, on Craig, on Kate Stewart and Osgood. He'd rather have his own stuff. To play
his
with
legacy.
rather than pick up somebody else's ball, rather than, okay, let's have Captain Jack show up because everybody loves Captain Jack. Oh, let me create something of my own, and have people, people enjoy that.
But I also think the plan was that Torchwood Miracle Day was supposed to be a success to continue on in stars over here in the States, and I don't think anybody foresaw that it just didn't do as well as they thought. The ratings continue to go down with every episode. That's usually the other way around, but unfortunately, I think maybe Moffat left it out because his plan was the plans were RTD was supposed to run Torchwood over here, and it just wasn't in the cards.
Yes, plus I remember a few years ago when he was saying that, his partner or husband, I'm not sure if they're married, he had cancer and he was really sick.
Right.
So he was spending a lot of time taking care of him, and plus he was doing a bunch of other stuff and he just didn't have time to do Torchwood. And, it's not unheard of, especially on BBC, for there to be, years between episodes on different shows. So, they said that Torchwood could come back in 10 years, who knows?
Red Dwarf, which moved to Dave TV, they've done 10, they're up to season 10, and that's been on since the 80s, and they're on season 10.
That happens with Cartoon Network stuff all the time. The Venture Brothers and Metalocalypse, they've been on for a decade or so.
So let's go back to the news. One more story, and then the birthdays.
Oh, yeah.
This is a story that, Mark, you actually told me about, so you actually have more information than I do.
Oh,
It's
good.
about Big Finish. Announced that they're going to be releasing 2 more stories in their new and missing adventures dramatizations. One called Damaged Goods.
Right. Which was written by Russell T. Davis. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Russell. And you were telling us that it was very violent.
It's violent. There's a lot of drug use. I mean, part of the storyline has to deal with a new drug, kind of like cocaine. It was a very, all the new adventures were adult stories, and this was definitely an adult story.
They're going to be releasing it. It's going to be a 2-hour audio.
Oh, cool! So kind of like Gareth Roberts' Romance of the Crime, and the other one, The English Way of Death, that they're releasing in January. They're going to do something with Russell's. That's cool.
Yeah, it'll be released August of 2015, and it's going to star Sylvester McCoy as the Doctor.
All right.
So we'll look for that.
Yeah.
All right, now let's go to the birthdays.
Oh, my favorite part.
Happy birthday.
No. Let the Beatles play it. The Beatles are playing in the background right now, so it's fine.
Yep, I'm doing it to the tune of the Doctor Who theme.
So, happy birthday. It's the birthday attack.
All right, enough, guys.
Don't quit your day jobs, guys.
Yes. All right, so we had 2 birthdays on June 22nd. Adrian Hill, who played Katrina, who was a companion of the first Doctor, and the first companion to die.
Yeah, but the first of 2 that die really quick. Sarah Kingdom got killed off like 9 episodes later.
Yep.
Same serial, right?
Same serial, yeah. Dalek Master Plan.
And also on June 22nd, Ed's favorite companion, Bonnie Langford, who played Mel, it was her birthday.
Yay.
Did you send her a birthday card, Mark?
No, but it was her 50th birthday. It was the birthday for her.
Could you imagine the birthday card that we would send her would be a picture of her? It said, "We just want to shout on your birthday," and they pop it open, and it's a picture of her going, Happy birthday, Bonnie.
And the last birthday was just the other day, June 23rd. It was actually Big Finish's 15th anniversary.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, Big Finish. Great job you guys doing for 15 years.
Oh, I'm exhausted. That was a...
And isn't there a timey-wimey birthday?
Oh, well, yes. Tomorrow is Eve Miles' birthday.
Oh, Gwen Cooper.
Official.
Cool. Yes. Happy birthday, Eve. We'll have the put the post up by now.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be by the time people are hearing this, we will have a birthday shout out up.
Yeah.
I have a special one. I have a special one just for her. And
speaking of segues, she is going to be at the Hurricane Who October-November, or I'm calling it OCNOV. The OCNOV event for for Halloween. So Eve is coming down. So Mark, if you want to take that as the segue,
that's
there you go.
That's a good segue, because when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to have Christian roaming around Hurricane Who, A Day with the Doctor, and interviewing fans, and definitely interviewing Paul McGann and Gareth-David-Lloyd. It's going to be exciting. But right before the commercial break, we've got a Dr. Geek moment of science that fits with this past week, the moon landing. So we will be right back after the moment of science, the commercial breaks, with Christian and Hurricane Who. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Dr. Geek's Moment of Science. Here is the lab director and your human host, Dr. Geek.
For today's Moment of Science, Dr. Geek's laboratory is celebrating the anniversary of Apollo 11's historic July 20th, 1969 moon landing. What can I say? The moon landing was one of the key moments in human history. But don't take my word for it. There's replay timestamp 00720.69.
Acknowledged.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
So there you have it. The moon landing was the culmination of many hopes and dreams. Did you know that Jules Verne predicted many of the elements of the actual moon mission that would take place 100 years later? It's true. In Monsieur Verne's novel, the Baltimore Gun Club launched from Tampa, which is not all that far from the Kennedy Space Center. Anyway, I better go. For some reason, I have all these hash marks on my arm. So till next time, apply your geekdom.
This moment of science was brought to you by Dr. Geek's Laboratory of Applied Geekdom, a Brazen Wench production, copyright 2014, in association with this network. Join the adventure. Download the full Labcast at www.drgeeklab.com and follow us at facebook.com/drgeeklab and twitter.com/drgeeklab.
We Decepticons now face our darkest hour.
Yes, that's right, Megatron, because we are announcing that the GCRN is bringing everyone Transformers Prime Time. That's right, before we get to TFG1 redone, we enter the Prime Universe. Join your hosts, TFG1 Mike, Steve Megatron, Optimus Solo, and Peacock Michael, as they cover all 65 episodes of Transformers Prime, the comics, the toys, and more. We will also have a commentary on Predacons Rising, interviews with writers, voice actors, and so much more, all in the latest Transformers review podcast from the Geekcast Radio Network. You can find TF Primetime on iTunes and www.geekcastradio.com.
Transform and roll out!
The voice of Christian Basel, take one.
Hi, I'm Christian Basel, and I would like to provide my voice for all your voiceover needs, such as...
Okay, like an announcer.
Like a what?
Like an announcer.
For all your voiceover needs, such as animation, radio, announcements, introductions...
Now an old man.
I can even record voicemail for all the Meshuggahs that call you.
A pirate.
Arr, and it won't cost you a lot of treasure for me services. Arr.
Creepy movie voice.
Just call 407-761-2679. 407-761-2679. Or email voiceofchristianbasel@yahoo.com. Well, how was that?
That's a wrap.
Tooncast is dedicated to the cartoons we grew up with. 100 episodes and more make up one of the GCRN's most popular podcasts. Join hosts TFG1 Mike, Optimus Solo, Terror the Rising Star, and tons of guest hosts. We also have voice actor and writer interviews. Tune in to Tooncast as we look back on the cartoons that defined us as geeks. You can find Tooncast on iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com. Tune in.
The Pull Bag is the GCRN's place for everything you need in the comic book world. We focus on new and current comics, while also tackling a few back issues here and there. So join the entire GCRN crew and see what issues the hosts have with today's panels. You can find the Pull Bag on iTunes and geekcastradio.com. Make your great escape into comics.
My name is Christian Basel, and I'm interviewing
Jay.
Jay, where are you from?
We're right here from Central Florida.
Excellent. How'd you hear about Hurricane Who?
Well, we actually did a search online, found this conference called Hurricane Who Category 5 coming up in October, and then we saw they had the one-day conference. It was going to be a night with the doctor, and so we signed up, and here we are for this.
Great. Now, you're really excited to see that Ianto has joined the ship.
That was a surprise. Added bonus.
Added bonus there.
Now, my 13-year-old daughter is much more excited than I thought she would be because she knows all about Ianto. So she filled me in on him.
You hear that, Gareth? She knows everything about you on there.
Right.
Just wanted to let you know you got fans out there. Now, who is your doctor?
I got to go with my daughter. We love the 10th.
The 10th doctor?
We're the 10th. That's right.
What do you like about him the most?
His flair in the comedy. He really brought that to the new series in a way that we hadn't seen before, because the other ones before were pretty serious, and so it really captured our imagination as a family.
Okay,
so we like that. However, my wife's favorite is the 11th. So.
Okay. Now, I got to say, in progression, I'm assuming you're going to like the 12th.
I'm hoping so.
Capaldi. Are you excited about Capaldi? He's coming out in August. What do you project? What do you predict about Capaldi and how he's going to do?
It looks like it's going to be a little more serious, a little darker side, maybe a little edgier. So
Have you seen the trailers yet?
Yeah, all 6 seconds of it.
There's actually, I think there's a 30-second one out there now.
You know what? I haven't seen the long one. I've seen the real short ones, just basically a blip.
There's a 30-second YouTube one out there. So when you get home, go ahead and check it out. There you go now. There.
See, that's why your podcast is so perfect. You give us the information we wouldn't find anywhere else.
Well, we were telling you right now. You're hearing it here first, guys. Thank you, Jay, for coming, and we'll see you around here, man.
Thank you. We'll see you then.
Thank you. Oh, this is incredible, man. Oh, this is really bigger on the inside. I've just been told this is the actual TARDIS. This is interesting. I wonder what's over here. I wonder if this is the switch to dematerialize. I think I've just been duped. And I'm here with the lovely
Sherry.
Sherry, where are you from?
Tampa.
And who is your doctor?
Tim.
Now, Tim?
Yeah.
What do you love about Tim?
What do I love about Tim?
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you because I didn't like him at first. But
really?
No, I didn't.
You didn't like the goofy hair?
I was Chris Eccleston all the way.
Oh, I
so
gotcha.
it took me a little while to warm up.
So Tim took your doctor away.
Yes, he did.
Are you familiar with the classic series at all?
Just a little bit. I've been starting over from the beginning, what I could find online, and catching up to. I'm on the third Doctor right now. So
now, where did you start your Whovian experience there?
When the 2005 series started, my daughter got me watching it.
Oh, awesome! There. So what brings you to Hurricane Who?
I found y'all online, and I was like, I thought it was
We're just
awesome,
Googling one day, and hey, Hurricane Who.
I was looking at something. I don't even remember what I was looking at as soon as I saw.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I've had the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Tiffany, and she's one of the vendors here actually at Hurricane Who. And Tiffany, tell us a little bit about what you do there.
My name is Tiffany Namey. I go by the Rad Hattress, and I'm the owner and artist of the Rad Hattress shop. I make fascinators. Fascinators have a long history of being hair pieces that date back to the 1500s. They've been worn by people such as Anne Boleyn. And most recently, Princess Catherine made them very popular again when she married Prince William. And so they came back into fashion. But we in the geek world really love them for their steampunk kind of design. But I like making them to look like all kinds of things, including the TARDIS.
Oh, okay.
So I have TARDIS fascinators, but I also have steampunk fascinators. I have Marvel comic fascinators. I have all different kinds of character fascinators, and then I just have pretty fascinators.
And what made you start this? How long have you been doing it? I'm sure not since the 1500s. How long have you been doing there?
I've been doing it since, I would say, about 2011. And I started making them because I wanted one. And I looked at the various options that were out there, and not to say anything bad about other artists that are out there, because I'm sure I haven't seen every single one. But when I looked online and at other stores, I didn't see the options that I wanted. I saw people who were using pre-made fascinators and simply gluing things onto them, and they were selling them at a reasonable price that I could afford, but they weren't truly pieces of art. And then I saw artists who were making true pieces of art, but the cost was not something that we as middle class, normal geeks could actually afford.
We're talking triple digits here.
Yeah, we're talking between, $60 to $150, and I don't have that kind of money, so I decided to just make them, and I made a few for my friends, and we had a little party and all wore some, and then I had a whole bunch left over, so my boyfriend at the time, who's my ex, I'm single, guys, he
Oh my!
He took them in a box to work. He worked with waitresses on roller skates, and they sold out. And people started asking me, "Hey, can you make ones that look like this? Can you make ones that look like that?" And a business was born.
Alrighty. So, when did you start watching Doctor Who, and when did you start assimilating it, for I guess a better term, into your craft?
Well, it's funny because when I first started watching Doctor Who, I did it in a way that unfortunately a lot of people do. I started watching random episodes. People were like, "Hey, you'll like this, watch this." And when we watch it out of order and we don't know what we're watching, we don't like it.
Right.
That's the case with a lot of people. We don't understand what's going on. And I really just was like, this isn't my thing. I don't get it. I don't like it. And that was in the early 2000s, and I pushed away from it. Then I got really into Firefly and Serenity and became a huge brown coat. And when that happened, I got talked into watching it again from the beginning. And when that happened, I became a huge Whovian. And so when I moved home from Tennessee again and started my business again, I went to MegaCon in 2012, and I said, this is what I need to do. I need to turn my love of being a Whovian into TARDIS hats, because I know people will want this.
Now, if I ask you, who is your doctor, who would it be?
Eccleston all the way.
And you told me earlier you wanted to marry him.
Oh, yes.
Before the interview.
Yes.
Well, single guys better hurry up before Chris comes in and takes Tiffany away there.
Oh, yes.
Now, are you excited about Series 8, and what are you looking forward to for Capaldi?
Well, I'm kind of nervous because I think that it's been easy for us to relate to a young doctor being young. So I'm kind of nervous to see how they do it with a doctor who it might be a little bit more difficult to have a love story with. So I'm interested to see how that will work. But I am excited to see how the new story is going to evolve with bringing the old doctors into the new doctor. Right. Now that we've opened that link from the original series into the new series.
Now, if anybody wants to see your work, and it's gorgeous out there, where could they find your work online?
The easiest place to go is my Facebook. It's facebook.com/the-rad-hattress shop. And shop is spelled the old-fashioned way, so that's SHOPPE.
Alrighty, great. And guys, hurry up on Tiffany, because she can't wait anymore. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm at Garrett's table right now. Oh, look at all these pictures. This is, oh God. Maybe he won't miss any one if I just nick one of them right off the table. Nah,
that's $150, please.
Oh, sorry. And I'm with Jade from across the pond. I'm not talking Amelia or Rory Pond. This is from England. And where are you specifically from, Jade?
I live in Plymouth, so it's just near Cornwall in Devon. So
that's okay. I'm in Florida. I have no clue. It's on a map somewhere that I could find it in English.
It's near the bottom, the foot
it's
bit.
On the bottom.
Near the foot bit.
Okay. We don't talk about these people down here. All right. Jade, what brought you to Hurricane Who today?
Paul McGann.
Paul McGann?
Yeah, he told me about it on Skype.
Oh, okay. Who's your doctor?
My favourite doctor is John Pertwee. I got brought up with John Pertwee.
Oh, so you brought up with the classic series?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad brought me up with it, so we had the videos and just watched them. So it was John Pertwee.
John Pertwee there. What do you think about Peter Capaldi as the Doctor and Series 8? I'm
really excited about seeing
really
his Doctor, yeah, because it brings it back to how the classic was.
Are you
how you started the classic, isn't it?
May I interject? Did you watch Peter? This is Mark Who 42.
Oh, whatever.
Did you watch The Thick of It with Peter Capaldi? You never saw it. You never.
Is that the one where
where he swears? Like?
Yeah, Malcolm Tucker.
Have you seen that, the trailer? Yeah, the funny one?
Yeah, Dr. Blue. Dr. Blue.
Is that it?
Unbelievable. So, are you having a good time here?
Yeah, it's
because you said this is your first time. Is this your first time in the States, or just the first time at a convention like Hurricane Who?
It's the first convention in the States. I think so. I've always been to English conventions, British ones.
Before you came here, have you ever heard of Mark Who 42? Okay,
No.
you need to tell your friends down south.
Okay.
They got to catch up. They definitely have to catch up.
All right.
I think Mark just came into the interview because he's flirting, because we got the gorgeous TARDIS out here.
Absolute gorgeous. Definitely. I'm flabbergasted.
I'm going to go ahead and stop because this interview is going bad. And we've got our good fan and friend of Mark Who 42, Jay, and you're not even dressed up this time around. You just got the T-shirt on.
It was too hot, man.
Are you just chilling and relaxing this time around? Because I like you in Second Doctor.
Yeah,
that's my favorite there.
Yeah.
Now, Jay, what brings you down here to Hurricane Who?
Just to meet Paul McGann.
Just to meet Paul McGann?
Yeah.
Have you seen him yet?
No, I've seen him walking around, but I'm going to wait to get my copy of the movie autograph.
Oh, wow, okay. Good times out there. Are you going to see Ianto as well? Gareth?
Ianto, yeah, I'm going to go to the Q&A panel, yep.
So how are things since you've been here from the last year? What's the difference between Hurricane Who now and then a year ago?
I'm writing more stuff from my own.
Okay. What kind of stuff?
I'm trying to write a Doctor Who book, sort of similar to what they did with the 11 Doctors, 11 Stories kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Are you going to do anybody else? Are you going to do like War Doctor, or are you sticking to the
all
Doctor?
13.
All 13 there.
Yeah,
Cool
so
beans.
far I've worked up. I have a bit of 8 started, and I'm further along with 11 because that's the easiest one for me.
Oh, okay. So how long are you before you get your first book out there? Because we know Mark wants to sell that book.
It's going to be a couple of years because I'm still in the middle of writing them myself, like 12 to 11 or 10 other Doctors to write through.
Awesome. Any spoilers you want to reveal in your book, Jay? Anything you want to tell us? Any hints?
11 takes place before he loses the pond.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and it basically involves a trip to one of the happiest places on Earth.
Okay, wow.
And
I wonder where that is, and that's probably not the bar up the street.
And a certain meeting with a certain man that, if you know your history of Anaheim, you will pretty much know who he is.
Okay, deal. Well, we're going to be looking out for that book in a couple years.
Yep.
We're going to be selling out there. How are you liking Hurricane Who so far?
It's doing pretty well. Pretty great, yeah.
Were you in the panel at 10:30 this morning earlier?
Yes, I was.
And did you have a good time? Get a good time on
Yes, I
that?
did.
Yep, because we're going to tell Ed to eat it. We're the Whovians down here.
Yeah, and we also talked about what Series 8 is going to be, and I'm very looking forward to that, just to see what kind of turn Capaldi brings to the role of the Doctor that the other previous 12 Doctors haven't done.
What's your impression of Capaldi now, and how Series 8's going to go?
For me, I think it's going to be more of a Tom Bakery 4th Doctor vibe with a little bit of the 10th Doctor David Tennant vibe, with him basically just being like the happiest, happy-go-lucky, very smiling, overly euphoric Doctor, and then in the next scene or two, he could be like, depressed and really melancholy and really, really desperate to do anything. So I'm pretty excited about that.
And I guess the final question is, Jay, you are going to be at Hurricane Who with me, and I believe Mark might be coming down back here in October or November.
Yes, I am.
For Gwen Cooper. Her arrival. Which I think is weird that Ianto's here at one Hurricane Who, and she's at the other one. They're not here together. I think the three of them are a package with John Barrowman.
They should be.
It's
like a convention special. If you book one, you have to book two. You have to book the other.
Exactly. Well, not in the cards this time around.
A wonderful fake British accent, and I'd like to invite you to tune in to a wonderful show, Mark Who 42's Universe podcast at mark-who42.com. Try it in your own home at your own expense for 2 weeks. If at the end of 2 weeks you're not entirely delighted, just wrap it up in the original package and throw it away. It is completely disposable.
And we are on the last day and the last stretch of Hurricane Who this weekend, and I've got Laura C. right here. And Laura, what made you a Whovian?
My friend John Harrison got me into the show. He was very clever. He knew the kinds of things that I liked, and he showed me the Doctor Dances, the two-parter.
And the Empty Child, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Unearthly John. Like, nope, that's one. And he showed me that first because he knew that that would get me interested in the show. So after that, I ended up watching, all of the classic series and everything else.
Oh, okay. So who would you consider your Doctor?
Probably 9, if only because he was the first Doctor, and somehow that just always seems to be the rule of thumb. I probably relate a little more to Tennant's Doctor just because I've seen more of it. But and as far as the classic series goes, probably Pertwee, 3 being my favorite of the classic Doctors.
Of the classic Doctors now. Now, how far have you gotten into the classics?
Oh, I've seen everything. I actually, when I was in undergrad, I went through and watched everything from 1 to 8 in about 4 months. Mm-hmm. My claim to fame with that is that I managed to do all that and still get a 4.0 that semester, so I was pleased with that.
Okay, well, congrats on that there. Now, with the decision of Peter Capaldi being the new Doctor, how do you feel about going into Series 8 with him being the helm guy?
I think he's going to do a great job. Everything that I've heard has been very positive.
Good. Are you aware of Peter's work before the series? Or?
I've seen some of it. I obviously saw him in Children of Earth, but...
As Frobisher.
Yeah, not too much beyond that. I've seen clips of the other work.
Oh, okay. Going forward, do you think Moffat should stay as the showrunner? That seems to be the controversial topic nowadays.
Actually, I just personally, not actually anything about Moffat in particular, but more out of the idea that the show is... one of the things that I liked about in Classic Who is that when they got a new Doctor, they got a new showrunner, and it meant sort of an entirely new style and an entirely new feeling to the Doctor. So I actually think that when they change actors, it's nice when everything else changes because of the fact that it gives each Doctor a much more definable signature.
So you're definitely watching the show when the next season comes in. This next series comes in.
I guess it'll just depend on how it goes.
And any expectations for the new season, the new series?
Well, I think that, at least by everything that I've heard, people seem to think that there will be a slightly different dynamic between the Doctor and his companions because of the fact that they've gone with an older actor. I mean, they wouldn't necessarily have to, but that seems to be the direction that they're going.
And how are you liking yourself at Hurricane Who so far?
Oh, I always have a good time at Hurricane Who. There's no convention that I've been to that's quite like it.
Okay, and you're definitely coming back here in what I've now called October.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for your time, Laura, and have a good time for the rest of the Hurricane Who.
Thank you.
Christian, you're doing a great job, but I think it's time you need to interview the stars of Hurricane Who, A Day with the Doctor, don't you think?
I'm here in awe with the legendary Paul McGann, the 8th Doctor, and... well, I wanted to say something funky and something off the wall and something offbeat.
James Brown.
Yeah, but now it's just hello.
Barcades. You don't get funky than that.
Excellent there. Got a few questions there for you, Paul. Were you a Doctor Who fan before you took the role?
The fact is, when we were kids, there were 3 TV channels. So
just like my kids.
That's right. So in the 60s, so whether you called yourself a fan or not, the fact is you watched it. Everybody watched it.
Right.
It was part of the furniture. It was part of the cultural landscape. The short answer is yes.
Okay.
But then everybody was, and it was time when we got home from school. We'd just have time to eat, and then it would be on. So everybody was it. Yeah, I was a fan.
No. And who was the Doctor you started with?
William Hartnell, of course.
Oh, okay, the first guy.
Yeah.
First one. Then.
Yeah, he's my Doctor.
Now, with the storylines thus far as you've seen through the episodes, do you think that the series is going in the right direction with Stephen?
Well, there's no short answer to this one, but yeah, I think it's going in. Well, let's say I think it's in good hands.
You think it's in good hands? Because
it's kind of divisive in it or chancy anyway to try and foresee the future and say where are we going.
Right.
The fact is they've just changed the Doctor. They've got a fantastic actor in Peter Capaldi. I'll say that much. I think it's in.
So you were happy with the Capaldi decision?
Very happy with him. I think it's in absolutely safe hands. So never mind the future. The present is secured, and this is the main thing.
Oh, okay. And speaking of Moffat, what was your first reaction when you were asked to do Night of the Doctor and Clording, and also Peter Davidson's The 5 Doctor-ish?
My first question to Stephen Moffat was, can I see a script? I'm an actor, I want to see a script.
That's true, yeah.
I don't want to do things sight unseen.
Right.
And he said...
You want to make sure it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
He said, there ain't one. When will there be one? I don't know. Do you want to do it? I don't want to do it. He said, if you want to do it, I'll write one.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's how he sold it to me. So I said, yeah.
And were you happy with the results? I'm assuming because you did the episode.
Very happy. Very happy. And happy also with that way of working. You know, he... I'm sure he doesn't always... He's not so always 11th hour.
Mm-hmm.
But he admitted to me and to the crowd that we were with at the weekend that every now and again it's a really good way to work.
Yeah, and that was a nice surprise for all of us when we saw Night of the Doctor. And what was that? And it was like, I'm the Doctor, but not the one you were probably expecting. I said, nope, it wasn't, but I'm happy to see you back there.
Yeah.
My favorite scene from the TV movie was the gun scene. A lot of people mentioned that, but that, to me, encapsulated good writing and great acting on your part. The gun scene where you said, now, please step aside before I shoot myself.
Yeah.
I think that was probably the most brilliant. And some of the stuff that I think is the best of Doctor Who comes from that movie and from Night of the Doctor.
Well, that's good of you to say. I think it's true. There was certain... what I mean is I think...
Nothing biased, right?
I'm slightly biased because I'm in it. No, I think there were little set pieces which were deliberate, very deliberate, and would have been there for months,
right,
on which to hang this pilot. I'm sure this idea was in there from the beginning.
Now, you're doing Big Finish. I've heard most of the Sheridan adventures. That's wonderful there. What's your favorite moment of Big Finish? What's your favorite memory of doing it?
You know what? It's probably... I've got so many, but the time that I'm fondest of is right back at the beginning, towards the beginning.
With Charlie?
Yeah.
India Fisher?
With India, and doing Sharda, and around that time in that first year, and then really realising then, the penny dropped then that we were onto something.
Right.
And perhaps...
I know it's brilliant.
Perhaps we could run with it, you know, it might go on for more than a year. You know, when you work as an actor, you're lucky if the thing you're in goes on for a year.
Exactly.
So, but it was around that time we thought, this could be really good.
And I've heard more of the panel that you actually have more episodes than Matt Smith and David Tennant.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So you've actually not only held the mantle, you've got the episodes to back it up there too.
Like I say, they call me the longest and the shortest.
Now, what is your best and strangest moments that you've had here at Hurricane Who?
Best and strangest? No strange ones yet, but it ain't over yet.
That's true. You still got some signing to do.
Yesterday we went to a comic shop, a comic store, about half an hour from here, and spent the afternoon in there.
Yeah, I met you there.
And I loved it. I just loved it. I thought the atmosphere was really fine in there. It was kind of unexpected.
Right.
And it got together pretty late in the day, but it was one of those things that just worked. You know, the atmosphere was terrific, and the more I do these things, the more I enjoy it. I like to meet fans. Yeah. I didn't think I would at the start. I was daunted by it. I was nervous of it.
The first time you met your fans, how was it? How was it different to now at this approach?
I think I was in a different spirit. I just assumed that it would be too crazy, and anyway, like most performers, I'm quite shy. And there's a film of me somewhere working onto the stage of this London hotel for the very first panel that I ever gave at the very first convention I was ever at. And you can see the blood leave my face. This noise, this audience, it was as loud as a plane landing. And I'm in this dark room, and I don't realise there's 2,000 people in the room, and then you can see me, I shrink to about 5 inches tall, and then I open my mouth to speak, and this little mouse squeak comes out of my mouth. It was terrifying. I looked terrified, and I was, you know. Until you've done it, you don't know. And
yeah, I understand. Now you're a little more confident about things.
And what's more, the penny's dropped about it now. You know, it's great. The atmosphere's always good. It's always in a good spirit. It's got a sense of humour, and it's great to interact with the fans, give the fans some time, give them back
Right.
Because it's for them. We don't make these things for us.
And not to boost the ego a little bit, but I've been talking to fans and the ones who have interacted with you like me. He's a gentleman. He's nice. He's wonderful. I'm just like, yes, he is. We can safely say that about that.
My mother. Yeah, it's nice when you hear that about your kids. It's always nice.
I just have a few more questions. Speaking of Charlie, as we know, Charlie ends up with the Sixth Doctor.
Yeah.
Are you still miffed about that? And in case of things that have gone to the bad,
I'm not territorial. I think
because Matt Smith says he doesn't want River Song to go with Capaldi. He says that's my girl.
Don't forget, we are all the same person.
That's true. That's true.
In the end, when all's said.
Is there a companion from a previous or current Doctor that you would work with if the storyline allotted to?
Ace.
Yeah. Oh, our showrunner would love to hear that.
Ace is right up my street.
There you go.
And remember where you heard it first.
And the last thing, a year ago we had Daphne Ashbrook with the traveling TARDIS that I have here that I took a picture of you with. I asked her a quick... What's that?
She's a gentleman.
And a lady. I asked her a quick question, and the question was... Grace, am I a better kisser than Paul McGann?
All right, this one's hard, but I'm going to have to say yes.
So after this podcast, I would like to know if you are a better kisser than Daphne Ashbrook. But we'll find that out later.
Well, by some empirical test.
We will.
All right.
We don't have film, so we'll have to whatever stays at Hurricane Who will stay at Hurricane Who. Paul, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure and an honor.
My pleasure.
Again, I'm in the light of greatness. I am with Gareth-David-Lloyd. Can you tell, for some folks who may not be familiar with Torchwood, could you please explain yourself about Torchwood and how you came to be in it?
Torchwood is the spin-off series, Doctor Who, a crack team of alien hunters in Cardiff, led by Captain Jack, who came to life in Doctor Who.
Sure.
And I played Ianto-Jones, who was the sort of team T-boy started off and became more of a fully fledged member of the team later on.
He had a hidden secret underneath the Torchwood hub.
Ianto's got lots of secrets. He's a very guarded.
Oh, do tell. We haven't seen this in the series yet.
Just join up to my Twitter account.
Oh, okay. There we go. Then. Is there? Speaking of which, unfortunately, Ianto met his demise in the series.
You spoiled it for everyone now.
What's that?
Just spoiled it for everyone now.
Well, that's true. Okay, Ianto is no longer of the series.
He goes on holiday.
He goes on a holiday in Children of Earth.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would have liked to have happened to Ianto had he continued on to the series? How to develop the character a little bit more? Had it gone on to Miracle Day?
Yeah, well, I think actually everything was pretty wrapped up quite well. I mean, I wanted to see Ianto's home life, where he came from. I wanted to meet his family. I wanted to know where he grew from, and that was done rather successfully, I think, in Children of Earth. He goes back to come out to his sister. It was nice to see that sort of that element to Ianto. Was always such a guarded and secretive character. I wanted to know, what he was about, where he was from, and that was done in Children of Earth. I would have liked to see him get a promotion to...
Can you get promoted in Torchwood?
Well, I think he was. Unfortunately, it took two other characters dying off for it to happen. But yeah, I think he was promoted by Children of Earth.
Now, you actually got, speaking of which, your character got to be in Journey's End and The Stolen Earth.
Yeah.
Were you able to see the other actors, or did John Barrowman get all the hoopla about that? Because you and Gwen Cooper's character, we stay off the side. Did you ever get to see the others?
I didn't know. I got to fire a machine gun at a Dalek, which is quite a claim to fame. So I'm not complaining. But the scene with David when he was on the screen was actually a green screen, and that was shot separately because David had to work that day. Unfortunately, but I saw enough of David anyway. Our sets were right next door to each other, so our paths crossed quite a lot.
Okay, there. Going into new territory post Torchwood, you did a few things for the Sci-Fi Channel. You did Red Faction Origin, and I wanted to see it, and I just had missed it, Warehouse 13. So what were the differences between filming for the BBC and filming for Sci-Fi?
I found both production companies equally professional and a pleasure to work with. I would have liked to rekindle the Warehouse 13 character in a spin-off. I know that was talked about for a while, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But I had a great time working with them. That's why I wanted to do it, really, was because I'm such a great team to work with.
Now, for whatever reason, apparently in the Moffat world or in the Doctor Who universe, nobody actually ever dies, because Karen Gillan came back as Amy Pond and Peter Capaldi now comes back as the Doctor. If asked to go back to Doctor Who, would you come back? And if it wasn't Ianto, would you come back as another character if the story was worked?
I'd love to. I'd love being part of the Whoniverse and anything related to it. It's such a great fan base, such a brilliant group of creative people involved in making it. Any actor to be involved with that is a lucky one. So I'd jump at the chance to go back.
Awesome. Now, I'm assuming this is not your first fan experience or con or anything of that nature, because you were here last year at Hurricane, who we just could not get to you, and unfortunately we finally got to you. We're happy about that there.
No problem.
What is your best experience that you've ever had, and what's the strangest fan experience you've ever had?
The strangest was probably receiving a My Little Pony which was dressed as Ianto. I don't quite know how that crossover works, but it was very impressive. Great artwork, but that was probably the single most strangest gift I've ever received anyway. And I love doing panels, and any chance to see a first-hand example of the effect my work has had on people, and a positive effect is brilliant for an actor. You don't usually get that, especially in TV and film, because it goes out to an audience. But with going to these conventions, every panel I do and seeing a huge room of smiling faces and people that are invested and moved and touched by the show, that's the best thing about conventions for me, full stop.
Our team wants to congratulate you on Lily Christina Lloyd.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I've seen the pictures. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful there.
She's an angel.
How's that now being a dad? How's
great, actually. Yeah, it's grounded me a lot. It's opened my eyes to the more important things in life.
There you go. And speaking of more important things, I also know that I don't know much about this, and I know a lot of our fans don't. Blue Gillespie.
The band, yeah. Well, yes. We've disbanded at the moment. We were a sort of a heavy rock metal band, and we did two albums, which were good albums, and we decided to give it a break, basically because we run out of things to complain about.
Oh, God. Okay.
We went into the rehearsal room one day and realised that we weren't as peeved about the world as we once were. So
got a little better, maybe over time.
maybe the birth of my daughter had something to do with it as well. But we definitely want to make music. But as for now, until something really pees us off, we're doing more sort of soul. And
well, you probably write a song about RTD bringing Ianto back to the series.
Yeah, maybe.
Just a one hit there. Yeah. Now, for future projects, please let us know. I know you're working on Enoch the Traveler.
Yep, Enoch the Traveler, sci-fi book by Lady Soliloquy, which I did the audio dramatization for, and now I'll be starring in the series, which films next year in North Carolina. I'm really excited about that. I'm also involved in the sort of the writing and creative process, which is something I've always been interested in, and it's great to finally to do that.
Are there any other upcoming projects that you got there?
I Am Alone, which is a zombie movie I shot last year. That's set to come out 2015.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah, no, it's going to be cool.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's a survivalist in the Colorado Rockies, surviving not only the elements but also a zombie apocalypse.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time, Gareth.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, before you go, Gareth, is there one last thing you want to say?
For me, the biggest thing about working with John Barrowman is his
Oh my God, I can't believe he just said that. That's funny. Christian, you bring out the best in people, you know that.
Apparently I bring out something in people, but
we had to bleep that out. Oh my God, that was just wrong. That was just, but it's probably true. It's probably true.
Well, he shot the scenes with him. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
With the measuring tape, so I have no clue.
Christian, do you have some shout-outs for thank yous for this?
Yes, I do. I want to give a shout-out especially to Ashley and Kess for helping set up, from Hurricane Who for helping us set up the schedules with Gareth and Paul. Thank you so much. I also want to give a shout out to Wes Sumner, who actually did. This was my first time ever doing a panel at Hurricane Who, and it was for Series 8. And unfortunately, we got cut a little bit, but Wes Sumner and I did a little panel for Series 8, about 15 minutes long, but got a lot of energy. And as you heard at the beginning of the episode, big old shout outs from the audience there. And definitely we want to give a shout out to Jared Cooper for another wonderful year. Hopefully when we get down there, Mark and I guess we're making a return, right?
Yeah, making a return. We're going to be there in Oknav.
And for those of you who are just not catching on to our humor, it's October, November. It's going to be October 31st to November 2nd, the entire weekend.
With birthday girl Eve Miles. Woo! Yeah.
And I have one question specifically for her. If anybody remembers, if you want to do a little research and try to guess the question I'm going to ask Eve, hopefully when we get down there and interview her, it's got to do with a question or a statement that was posed by one of the actors in the Comic-Con panel. Torchwood Miracle Day. It was something mentioned during the panel, and I didn't get to see Eve's. So I'm gonna bring that up to her as a bit of a little complaint and just say, hey, why didn't we see it, Eve? So you'll have to see around Oknav to see what I'm talking about, or watch the Comic-Con video.
So, gang, I think that's about all the time we have for today's show. Oh, it was good, wasn't it?
Oh, wait, one more.
Oh, we have one more?
Actually, yeah. We forgot a couple people. We forgot to thank Paul McGann and Gareth-David-Lloyd for actually doing the interviews.
Well, you know, yeah, we probably should mention them. How about the photographer who was our last fan interview, Laura C. Thank you, Laura.
So you actually get to see a picture. Do we remember which picture she took? Is that
she took
Paul?
About 13 pictures.
Oh, okay.
With Gareth, and I've picked one that I thought was very pithy, so It's going up there.
I suggested we did the interview naked, so I think that's
No, we don't have the naked interview. That didn't happen.
Thank God.
That didn't happen.
Thank God. Our listeners don't need that.
No. Not if it's being photographed. No.
Yeah, no.
But, Gareth probably would have done it, but...
Yeah, we would have played an episode of Spot the Sonic Screwdriver. So.
Stop.
Note, remember to go to our Facebook page, MarkWho42's Whoniverse. Tweet us at MarkWho42. Go to MarkWho42.net. Register and join the Whoniverse Army. Sign up on the front page for emails of when we have our next post. We do every 24 hours. An email will be sent out to you letting you know if there are new posts on our page for you to peruse. You listen to our old shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, FloridaGeekScene.com, GeekCastRadio.com. We're everywhere around the net. Just Google MarkWho42 and you'll find all this stuff. It's great, this interweb thingy. Any final words?
Yeah, I actually want to give one more thank you.
Oh, one more thank you.
To all of our friends and fans out there who support us. We passed the 1,000 barrier mark on our Facebook page, but that doesn't mean it has to stop right there.
Tell your friends, keep recommending to your friends,
your family, and everybody, any Whovian and people who just want a good laugh.
Yeah,
who may not be Whovians, they can listen to us.
Keep listening. Keep going to our Facebook page and the podcast website. There's some good stuff coming up.
And until next time, we will talk to you, or yes, we will. I said it right this time. We will talk to you and give you more information next time. God, Trish, you gave a lot of news today.
I know.
2 weeks.
Tired.
2 weeks.
2 weeks worth of news. Oh, that was a long one. Bye, everyone.
I think I think for my next short story, I'm gonna name a planet Oknav.
Bye.
Bye.
Just to cosplay one day of the year.
MarkWho42's Whoniverse has been written and presented by Mark Baumgarten, Patricia-Helm, Eduardo-m-Freyre, and Christian-basel. We'd like to thank Paul McGann, Gareth-David-Lloyd, and everybody who was associated with Hurricane Who, A Day with the Doctor, including the fans who were interviewed on this show. This show was edited, produced, and directed by Mark Baumgarten. Please visit MarkWho42.net and register to join and be a part of the Whoniverse Army. We can also be heard on iTunes, the Stitcher Radio app, Podkicker, GeekCastRadio.com, and FloridaGeekScene.com, amongst other places around the net. Tweet us at MarkWho42 and check out our Facebook page, MarkWho42's Universe. We can be contacted by email at mark@markwho42.net with the subject line, ? Doctor Who and its properties are owned by the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. This podcast is owned and copyrighted by Mark Baumgarten, 2014.